right, so welcome back to another podcast. My name is Tayla X. I am a doula, I'm a student midwife, and I am a mom. And I am very, very passionate about what I do. And my ponytail look crooked today. Or no. I don't know, but I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Woo! Y'all know we finna get started by like just kind of just talking about my week. I'm just gonna bring it up. I'm a little bit late to the podcast today. The whole time I'm late, but I'm on time too. So let me just let y'all in on what's the topic tonight. Tonight's topic is going to be, and y'all know I got my notes so that I don't rant y'all to death. But tonight's topic is going to be about women's health is wealth. Okay, because I'm gonna get all the way into it. So just to get y'all started, this is the I Am Not My Womb podcast. We do this every Wednesday and Saturday night. So I thank y'all for coming first and foremost. But also I'll be having a lot going on in between podcasts. So I would like to just start by telling y'all some stuff. So last time I was here was Wednesday. Because today's Saturday. Yes, today's Saturday. My children gone. And the weekends that my children be gone, my brain be gone with them. So I'll be like, I don't know. I'll be all over the place. But anyway, so since Wednesday, okay, so I worked a couple days. I had class today, which my class is actually what inspired the topic for tonight. So I want to tell y'all a little bit about the conversation we had in my class today. If you don't know, I'm in class right now to be a midwife. I'm studying under a midwife who has been to thousands of births. I don't know if I should say thousands, but I know for sure 1,000 plus. I don't know if she's at 2,000 yet, but I know it's more than 1,000. But she's been a lot of different births. She's been with a lot of different women. She's taking care of a lot of different women, and she's teaching us. So that's one thing that I had going on, but it was something else I wanted to tell y'all before. Hey, I can't remember. I don't know. Besides that, I think it's been going pretty smooth. My little sister came over. Obviously, I just love having her over here. That's like my first baby. She was born when I was 11 years old, so it kind of was like whatever. And other than that, yeah, so the babies are gone for the weekend. I made myself a chocolate cake for class this weekend. That's significant. But let me just get into telling y'all exactly what the topic was in class and why it inspired me to do this podcast tonight. So the topic in class was about, it technically was supposed to be about glucose, which is the sugar levels, sugar, basically another word for sugar in our bodies and how our bodies handle glucose. So if you've ever been pregnant before and you've been asked to take the gestational diabetes test, that's what they were trying to check, how your body handles sugar. So for me, let's give my own personal experience. For me, my first pregnancy, they gave me the drink. I took the test, and I passed the test. So the first test that you take is an hour test, and it's actually just a screening. So it technically, is it a test? I don't think it's a test. It's a screening to see if you need to take the test, because the actual test will be the 2 or the 3 hour one. So if you've ever failed the screening before, then you know that you're going to have to take the 2 or the 3 hour one, whichever one that provider chose to bump you up to. So for me, I took the screening with my first pregnancy, drank that drink that's toxic. It's a toxic drink that they give pregnant women. And yeah, I passed the screening. Then my second pregnancy, I was like, I'm not drinking that. So that's been a huge debate in my class, because the midwife that's teaching the class is so confused as to why we did not get tested properly, I guess. Because it is alternatives to taking a test. It's you could just not take it at all. That's the thing. So whatever. My second pregnancy, I did not take the test. Hey, y'all. Are y'all gonna say hey to me in the comments or what? Let me get my comments opened up. Oh, you know what? I did have something else to tell y'all. I had a class this week. on Thursday. It was really, really good. I think it was like 7 people there. I can't remember how many people. It was like 6 or 7, like, or maybe 7 or 8 that actually showed up and was there the whole time. It was really good. It was a solid hour. I planned it out. Y'all know I'll be having my notes. I have my outline. And what I plan to do is to continue to teach this class every single Thursday. So if you missed the class last Thursday, you might want to come through this Thursday, because I'm going to be teaching the same class again and altering my notes and stuff as I go, obviously, making it better, improvements. But the main goal for me, because I'm like really big on trying to schedule out my life and make sure I don't fall out, is scheduling. So I wanted it to be an hour long. I literally got through the whole PowerPoint and had 15 minutes for questions afterwards. And they used the 15 minutes for questions for sure. And that's one thing I really, really like, because I like answering questions, because I can give y'all all the information I got, but if it's not what you want to hear, then what am I doing? So questions be really, really good for me. So yeah, that class went really well, and I'm actually like pretty proud about that. I got the recording. I'm obviously go back and rewatch it and judge myself like I shouldn't be doing, but that's what I'm gonna do. But anywho, okay, back to the class. So tomorrow we have a test on glucose. For some reason, this whole weekend I can't pronounce nothing, but yeah, we're going to be taking tests on gestational diabetes, which is basically the type of diabetes you have if you're pregnant. Only during pregnancy. That's what I should say. Not if you're pregnant. Only during pregnancy. So it's not type 1 diabetes. It's not type 2. It's pregnant diabetes. So we're going to be taking a test on that. But that conversation led us into talking about fatphobia. Bro, do y'all know today was my first time ever hearing that word? Fatphobia? Who makes up these words? Is that a real thing, or am I tripping? Is that a real thing? Like, that made no sense to me, because phobia means a fear of something. So I was asking my friends in the chat. I'm like, so is it a fear of being fat, or is it a fear of other fat people? Like, do y'all think that shit makes sense? Am I tweaking? Do that make sense? To me, that does not make sense. I'm scared of other fat people. That doesn't make sense. Like, we need to stop. And I'm not here to say anything about weight, to be honest. This is about health. It's not about weight. Like, I'm a person who, my first times, outside of being pregnant, my first time stepping on a scale was in 2021, I think, after I gained all that weight after losing my father. That was my first time stepping on the scale without being pregnant, without being at a prenatal appointment. I don't care about numbers and weight. I never have. I never will. And it's sitting right here collecting dust, because I don't just get on it like, oh, how much do I weigh? And even with this class that I'm in, they told me my BMI. I didn't even know what my BMI was. I don't know what that is. Like, I know it's something that people use to see if you're the right weight for your height or whatever, but I didn't check my BMI. I don't care. And that's what I really wanted to talk about with this conversation, because a lot of people think that weight equates to health. And I'm so happy that one of the girls in my class spoke up, and she was talking about how she was malnourished. Like, a lot of people talk about body shaming and fat this and fat phobias. Why is there no such thing as skinny phobia? Because I've been anorexic before too. Before I had my first baby, I weighed 120 pounds and I'm 5'6". So that's technically a anorexic BMI. Nobody talks about how I'm malnourished. They just talked about how you look good, I guess. Like, what? That's not healthy though. Because I was living off White Castle cheeseburgers from Walgreens. Or, matter of fact, I remember, this is so stupid, but I remember the only place I used to get food from during this time, this is before I had my son, I was on my own, bouncing around house to house. And we're finna get into that story today too, because this is a huge part of why I take health so serious. But when I was in that stage of my life where I was just bouncing around, living with any and everybody, sleeping on couches, floors, whatever, back seat of the car, whatever, I was just out here. The main place that I got my food from was Walgreens, the freezer section in Walgreens. I stayed with the buffalo wings, and I pop them in somebody's microwave once I got to somebody's house. Even if I ain't gonna be there at their house for long, I would pop them in the microwave. That was literally my meal, and I don't know if I ate every day. Honestly, I would get those, maybe some chips and an Arizona drink, and that was it. Extremely malnourished. I probably went without vegetables for I don't even know how long, for like months. I don't even know where would I get a vegetable from? But nobody talks about skinny phobias. So for me, I'm like, look, I'm in the chat. Like, first of all, I'm behind, my camera's off in the class. So I'm just kind of fuming a little bit. I'm like, why are we talking about this? We're supposed to be helping women have better outcomes. That's why that's why I'm becoming a midwife, because Black women are dying from things like high blood pressure, or dying from things like the doctors aren't listening to them. And everybody wants to bring up bias, but then you're wasting time talking about BMIs and, oh, fat doesn't mean you're not healthy and blah, blah, blah. Like I said it in the chat. I said, I think some people is sensitive. I think folks just sensitive. And they was like, oh, it's not sensitive. It's just being thoughtful. We're in a class to save the lives of Black women that are 4 times more likely to die than white women. How is that not thoughtful? How is trying to help you get your health better not thoughtful? But okay. So yeah, to be honest, I picked this topic while I was in class, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to do it. But now that I'm even talking about it, I'm like, girl, what was you thinking? Because this is your favorite topic. Health is literally my favorite topic, and I'm going to tell y'all why. So yeah, that's basically the intro. This is my first point that I even wanted to make tonight is, why do I care? Okay, so there's 2 different things why I care: my past and my future. So my past, what my past is, let me tell you a little something about my past. I grew up with 2 parents, all the way until I was 13. It was right before my 14th birthday when my dad got really, really sick, and a blood vessel popped in his brain, an aneurysm. He had an aneurysm, and that caused him to be paralyzed. He lost his speech. I think that's the only thing. He was paralyzed on the whole left side, and he could not speak to his children anymore. This happened in 2007. And it was literally a week before. It was November 4th, my birthday. So it was like 9 days before, a little bit more than a week, a little bit before my 14th birthday. And before that, mind you, I'm only 13 at the time, 14. We'll just move it up to 14, 9 days before. A little bit before my 14th birthday. Before that, this was his 3rd stroke as a young man. My daddy was not old. He actually passed away in 2020 at the age of 55 years old. But he was in a nursing home for 12 of those years of his life. 12 years. This is my past. Now, I grew up in a home until I was 14 with 2 parents. All we did, literally, my dad worked at the airport. My mom worked at hotels. She would bounce around from different hotels, but that was their thing. So free hotel rooms, free flights. All we did was go places. So I've been to so many different places people don't even know. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Las Vegas. I've been to California. I've been to Georgia multiple times. I've been to Arkansas multiple times. That's where his family's from. I've been to Niagara Falls, the Canada side and the New York side. That's literally all my dad wanted to do, is just show us as much as he possibly can. So we went on family trips a lot. Also, we did stuff locally too, a lot too. So the whole losing my dad thing was like, even though he didn't pass until 2020, but I feel like I lost him in 2007 due to health issues. due to things that were within his control. And a lot of people be like I even had a conversation with my auntie. I can't remember if this was right before he passed or after. No, I'm pretty sure it was after. It was after. But I had a conversation with my auntie and she was just like, well, Taylor, you have to be mindful. He was very sick. Yeah, by choice. He was really sick by choice. And now I know it's things like, oh, ignorance or whatever, didn't know better, can't do better, right? So I do give him a pass on that part. But at the same time, you had 4 children. You had a 3-year-old. You changed everybody's lives because you didn't want to take care of yourself. So this is still part of the why do I care about health so damn much? So after my dad got sick, it was not long after that, we was homeless. My dad was the provider in the house. So after he got sick, my mom stopped working. She's a whole nother topic we ain't gonna talk about tonight, but because she don't got no health issues. But whole nother topic. Yeah, we was homeless. That's not a good look. A 3-year-old was sleeping in a car seat, and I'm living my freshman year of high school out of a car. Like, that's not a good look. And I'm not trying to say all of this goes back to, man, bro didn't want to take care of himself. But I'm just saying, this is going to all come together. But you not taking care of yourself, especially when you have children, it does not just affect you. It does not just affect you. This is like a domino effect of literally how I lived after that. Because how I lived after that, bro, I was out here. From that age, let's see, I was about 14. I got my first apartment to myself when I was 20 or 19. 20. Right after I made 20. That's when I got my first apartment. So I wasn't in a car that whole time, but I was bouncing around house to house, place to place, like wherever, family member to family member, whatever, until I got my own place. So think about it. Like, that's a whole culture shock. And then you had a 3-year-old. Now I'm complaining about my ish because that completely disrupted my high school career. Like, I went from literally straight A's to the teachers were like concerned. Like, during the time I was sleeping in the car, the teachers was like I wasn't acting out or anything, but they could just tell like I wasn't doing homework because homework's supposed to be done at home. The fuck, I don't have no home. I'm not concerned right now with homework. And then when I became 16, literally started my first job on my 16th birthday. I had orientation at the movie theater in Carbondale on my 16th birthday. And after that, that was it. That was it. I never stopped working. I actually dropped out of school my junior year and started working at the movie theater, Subway, and Buffalo Wild Wings at the same time. I was like, this is more important right now. This is more important. So there's just a simple, small fact that you could not make sacrifices and discipline the flesh of what he wanted versus what he should have been doing. Now, it's not all on him too, because like I said, my mama didn't have no health issues, but I'm just using my past as an example of why this topic is so important to me. Health is so important because it doesn't just affect you. And then even when I lost him in 2020, it's like, okay, now you're gone. Like, okay, I'm happy you don't have to suffer anymore because I know he went through a lot of surgeries in between the time he got in a nursing home and the time he actually passed. A lot of surgeries, a lot of switching around nursing homes, a lot of different doctors, a lot of stuff my dad did not want to do. So yes, I'm happy you're not suffering anymore. But your daughter never even got a chance to get to know you. Not me, the one that was 3 at the time. And then me, I'm just pissed because shit, I would love to continue to be spoiled to this day because my daddy spoiled me. He spoiled me. Spoiled. So once you pass, once you get sick, it's not just you. A lot of us make selfish decisions and then we get mad when people try to tell us about ourselves, but you're affecting other people's lives too. It's not just yours. So this is extremely important when it comes to women. So that's my past. And then my future is really short. Y'all know I'm going to be a midwife. And I want to help Black women in the best way possible. So one of the major things is that Black women are dying from health issues. They're not only dying from bias. They're not only dying from not being listened to. We're dying for health reasons. After we give birth, during birth, like, that's serious to me. Especially, I think I told y'all on one of these other podcasts about how y'all are quiet tonight too. I just noticed that because I'm ranting and y'all not saying nothing. But on one of these other podcasts, I told y'all about how what did I tell y'all? About how I got sick postpartum, how I lost all that blood when I gave birth and needed 2 blood transfusions. I'm pretty sure that was one of these podcasts. I can't remember which one. But I'm pretty sure I've told Jaylani's birth story before. I almost lost my life giving birth to Jaylani. Like, those are the signs that we tell moms now as a doula, as a midwife, a student midwife, to look for. Look for signs of being lightheaded, dizzy, high blood pressure. Come on now, high blood pressure is something we can control. What else do we tell moms? Headaches, frequent headaches. What's the other thing? I think I said it all because we can't tell you how to look for the protein in your urine, but yeah, all of the signs that I now tell my moms to be on the lookout for, I had those. So it's like, dang, I didn't know this for me, but now I know it moving forward. So it's very, 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 very important to me. Very important to me. So, yeah, so that's why it's important to me. But why do I want this to be important to y'all? Why did I even bring this to the podcast tonight? Because like I just said with my father and his situation, right? He's a man. It's a little bit different, but we're talking about women's health tonight. It doesn't only affect you. So this is extremely important when it comes to women, because women are the cookers in the household. They're the main chefs. They know what's on the menu. They are in charge of the grocery shopping, the grocery list, the cooking, the preparation of foods. What you put into your body is what you will get out of your body. Literally, if you want your body to be productive, you need to put things into your body that will keep it productive. It is no way around it. Like, you cannot hide from that. It's no way around it. So women are in charge of that. That's why I love the just the simple fact that I even have this opportunity to like be able to help women, because you are literally molding your children's future lifestyles. Like for me, for example, I love to use myself as an example because I've been through a lot of stuff. But my parents were cool with me not eating dinner. Oh, whatever. She's not hungry. I was the only, not the only. Yeah, I was the only girl, and I was the youngest for 11 years. My sister didn't come till I was 11 years old. So for that first 11 years, Taylor does what she wants out here. If you only want to eat a Hot Pocket and the rest you just want to be sweets and candy and cake and junk food and ice cream. I remember they used to buy me cookie dough ice cream. My brothers would be so mad. I would pick out all the cookie dough. I'll be searching through the ice cream for all the cookie dough. And then that's it. I would leave vanilla ice cream in the freezer with a couple of chocolate chips in it. Like, they was cool with that type of lifestyle. I remember, actually, this is another good example. I used to have heart murmur. Like, I was born with heart murmur. Like, this is like, can't confirm it because I'm an infant, but according to medical records, I was born with heart murmur. My mom was, and my little sister was. I don't think my little sister has no issues with that, though. I haven't talked to her about it. But I remember she had it when she was a baby, too. So I used to have the hugest, like, tightening in my chest and chest pains. And I was an active child, too. Like, we was always doing stuff, bike riding, skating, all kind of camps. I was always active. But it wasn't when I was active that I was having problems. That's what I noticed. It wasn't really when I was active. It would wake me up in my sleep sometime. It'll be when I'm just chilling, playing with my toys sometime. But I never get that anymore. I used to live off orange soda. I used to like literally like brag about how I can drink 2 or 3 orange sodas a day as a child. Like the moms are in charge of what you let in your house. So right now I have no problem with my children if they want to eat all day. I already told y'all they can eat fruit all day long. I don't care. Because guess what? There's nothing in here that is hazardous to you. You're not gonna have any issues from anything that I bring in this house. So I'm confident in that. But I used to brag about how many orange sodas I could drink a day. And then my first pregnancy, they could kind of still hear it. But you know, while you're pregnant, you got 2 heartbeats, so it's a little bit different. But after I had the baby, they could hear it again. My heart murmur. When I got pregnant with Jaylani, they couldn't hear it. They actually ordered, like, just because I told them, because it was a thing I always struggled with as a child. I told them that I had heart murmur when I was pregnant with Jaylani. They couldn't hear it. So what they did was they ordered an ultrasound for my heart. So I had to go in and get this thing like all up in my chest. Still couldn't find nothing. Afterwards, still couldn't find anything. And mind you, like that's the only time I get that's the only time I was getting cares while I was pregnant. So anytime between after I had my son, you know, I made so many life changes. Like I became a vegetarian when he was 2 years old. So from that time until Jaylani, I got pregnant with Jaylani when he was 4. So I don't know what happened, but I don't have it anymore. I don't have it anymore. I have not had a heart pain, stinging, whatever. I don't even really know how to really describe it since I was a child. And so anybody wants to tell me that that's not due to how you change the way you eat, that's crazy. So the moms are very important to teach them about health. And it's very important that we want it ourselves because we'll want it for our children. And then we'll set the tone, and also the tone is something else I'm thinking of. I can't think of the word. I always do this. I don't know. The tone, something else. We set the tone for our children and our children's children, though. Seriously. Like how we choose to structure health in the home, it starts in the home first. For me, I got to witness my dad being sick. So I was like, look, no. For me, no. I had my son and I was like, no, because I'm not about to allow him to lose me too soon and go through what I did as a child. So yeah, basically women's health dictates a nation's health, because if you're dictating your family's health, you cook for your husband, your children, you're in charge of that. Other women are in charge of their husbands, their children. That's a nation. Multiple families make up a nation. So it's all on the women at this point. They're going to eat what we give them, especially our children. Our husbands might do some other stuff for a while until they get on board, but especially our children. We could definitely set the tone for our children. So that's really important to me. And the other thing that I wanted to bring up is that women are born with all of the eggs that they will ever have. And I'm sure y'all have heard this before. Women are born with all of the eggs they'll ever have. We're not like men where we keep producing sperm. What you got is what you got. So how you were born, that's the condition your ovaries were born in. Now, of course, they're going to mature and stuff, but as they're maturing through your childhood, what are we feeding them? What are we feeding to our bodies that we're producing healthy eggs? That's huge, because once that sperm reaches the egg, you got a baby. Ain't no going back from that. Once you ovulate, that's what the egg is going to be. And that's what half of your baby's genes are going to be. There's no going back from that. Now, sperm health is really important too. But I'm just not talking to the men. If we do what we're supposed to do, it will be a domino effect and the men will submit. basically. They're going to eat what we feed them, especially if you're a mom of boys. My son be saying the funniest stuff. Both of them really be saying the funniest stuff. They be sitting at the table arguing about who's healthier. Like, who's my childhood? I just told you I was bragging about how many orange sodas I could drink a day. My children brag about how many fruits and vegetables they like. Like, I'm setting the tone for their future right now. So, especially for my daughter, it's really important to me. Wow. Shout out to my Wi-Fi for cutting off on me, bro. That's crazy. That's never happened to me before, and I don't even know, did it end the live? Am I still live? I think I'm still live. Okay. It would be nice if y'all said something in the comments, though. Y'all are really quiet. I think I'm still live, though. It's still counting. So, hey, let's finish up. I had to connect it to my hotspot on my phone. Like, this is the perfect time for the internet to be acting crazy. Oh, what was I saying again? Oh, taking care of. Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you. And that probably was not a good look while I was frozen, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, taking care of your ovaries while you got them. I mean, it's good that we got them. And the thing is, what we are feeding to the ovaries is literally producing the babies. Your ovaries are producing the babies. So, like me being born with heart murmur, what kind of condition was my mom's ovary and my dad's sperm in that their baby was developed holes in their heart? That's crazy. That's crazy. And all right, so I'm done with that one. The next thing I wanted to talk about was some adjustments that could be made. So I'm going to tell my own story about how I made adjustments slowly and surely, because my journey was not like like I don't know. I think people just think like I was talking to my friend the other day, and she was talking about how strong I was because I don't eat this and I don't eat that and I don't eat that, and I was like, okay, girl, but I have before though. So it's like, I don't know what people be thinking. Like, I don't know if I was just born like this. Like, no, I actually was raised off fried chicken just like y'all. So that's why it just don't excite me no more. Like, I had it most of my life. Well, not most, because I'm actually almost 30. So if I only had it until I was like, well, actually, I don't know. We're not going to get into the math, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. I've had it before. It tastes the same for the most part. So for me, what I did to start my journey is, okay, so I met this guy, and he started talking to me about how dirty pigs were and how we shouldn't be eating swine and all of this stuff. And it's so funny to me because I met this guy twice, not the same guy, but I met a guy, okay, ended up having children with the first guy that I met. But I met a guy and he introduced me to all the hood spots. I'm talking, this is my first time having Heroes chicken. This is my first time eating an Italian beef. Literally, that was like me and my baby daddy's thing was to go out to eat. That was what we did. We went out to eat. We tried different restaurants, steakhouses like crazy. That was what we did. That's all we did basically, is go out to eat or go to the movies. And that was my first time actually having Italian beef. Sorry, I just heard something outside. It scared me a little bit. That was my first time trying all of the meaty things, because how I ate when I was a child was basically snacking on fruits. I did like fruits always, but mostly junk food like candy, sweets out the sweets cabinet. We literally had a cabinet that was just for Hostess cookies and cakes and stuff like that. But I didn't never really have meals like that. I would just snack all day and just be snacking. So when I started hanging out with him and going out to eat and stuff, that's when I first tried all of these different Polishes and rib tips and big old those giant burritos, just basically all the meaty things. So I was never really into meat. I'd always tell people that, because like a lot of people do think it's hard to give up meat, and I think it was a little bit easier for me because I was never really into it to begin with. Like as a child, I just like to snack, and I would eat mac and cheese like crazy, basically. Still have an addiction that I'm trying to work on with the mac and cheese, but yeah. So met that guy, right? Baby daddy introduced me to all of these things. I'm like, wow, Italian beef's dip? This was like exotic to me from Portillo's. I was never getting this before. So it was kind of fresh to me. Then when my son was 2, I met somebody else. And he was talking to me about how dirty the pig is, and the worms and all of these things. And I was like, dang, but I gotta give up rib tips. I just started eating rib tips. Like they was good to me at that time. But what I started doing was actually looking at videos. I would look at videos, YouTube. And that's why I kind of give our parents a pass, because they ain't had no YouTube. Even when I was younger, we had to dial up just to get on the internet. And if somebody called you, bruh, starting all over. So you was better off just going to the library, but still you ain't getting on no YouTube to get no information. That's the thing. It's in our pockets now. It's literally in our pockets now. We got the world in our pockets. There's no excuse for us. There's no excuse why you don't know. Like that's something I'm like, okay, our generation, no, you're not getting a pass. My daddy and them generation, okay, I'm gonna give you a pass. But ours, no. So I started looking at YouTube videos, seeing, the worms. I was good. I remember the first time I sent my baby daddy a video of worms in a fully cooked pork chop. The pork chop was fully cooked, and the worm was just doing his thing. Like he was like, yeah, I know. What? And you was feeding me this? And you still eat this? This was 7 years ago. I showed him that video. He said, yeah, I know. He still eat that. So for me, I was done. I was like, okay, I don't need that no more. And then the same man, he told me about beef. But okay, so this is like I said, 7 years ago. I don't take my advice from this guy anymore. He don't know what the hell he talking about. But he did know what he was talking about with the pork. But with beef, he told me something about to get me to stop eating beef. He told me something about how the cow is a GMO animal or something, like they bred. I forgot which two animals he said they bred together. But the fact that cows don't live in the wild means they're not real animals or some shit. I don't know. I don't even want to get into that topic because I don't know what the hell he was talking about. But at the time, young Tayla was 22. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, my God. Blah, blah, blah. So I stopped eating beef. I stopped eating pork and beef at the same time. Then time went on, and chicken just started tasting weird to me, bro. Like, for me, I always tell people I'm like an all or nothing type of person. So, like, I'm either 100% in or I'm 100% out. I'm not doing it, or I'm doing it. It's no in between. It was never no gray areas with me. So after I cut those two things out, it was really hard for me to have a meal without overthinking the process. How did these chicken nuggets become chicken nuggets? I would literally overthink the process. So I did not just stop eating meat all at the same time. I was still eating chicken and turkey and thought I was the healthiest person on the planet. I was like, well, I don't eat pork or beef. I don't eat red meat. So blah, 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 just eating this. But turns out what I know now, if I did choose to continue to eat meat, I would continue to eat red meat before I eat chicken. If I did choose, and which I do, every year on my birthday, don't tell nobody I told y'all this, but every year on my birthday, I kind of look forward just a little bit to having lamb chops. My first time trying lamb chops, dang, I remember I was in Arizona, but I don't remember what year was this. It wasn't that long ago. It was like 2 years ago. Very first time trying lamb chops in my whole life. And I'm like, bruh, that's the only reason I really wanted to try it too, because I never tried it before. And it's like, come on now, I've been vegetarian for 5 years. This not going to kill me. So I tried it. I cannot remember what year that was, but I remember I was with my friend. We was in Arizona, went to this expensive ass steakhouse, because that's the other thing. I'm like, okay, where am I getting it from? I don't even want to get into all that right now, but I'm just here to say that this year on my birthday, I'll be having lamb chops again. So anywho, I cut out those, and then chicken and turkey was the last to go. And I think what I did, actually, I remember this. I wanted to do a 30-day challenge. 30 days, just no meat at all. No meat. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to do 30 days and then I'm going to go back to eating it. This was back in, I don't know, but my son was still 2. So like 2015. I was like, I'm going to just do 30 days and I'm going to go back to eating, whatever. Did a 30-day challenge. It was cool. It was great. Got to try tofu, which I'll never do again. That was gross. But it was this one restaurant called the Chicago Diner, I'm pretty sure it was called. And they had some really good stuff. I liked them. They was really decent. Like as a transition. So I do want you to be mindful of how you're transitioning, because I would never suggest that you eat tofu. First and foremost, I would never suggest that you eat tofu. There are some things like lentil burgers, black bean burgers. If you can make it yourself, that's the best way. But that's how I transition. I would use fake meat, basically. Not fake meat, but imitation. So black bean burgers, lentil, looks like a burger, tastes like a burger. It's not a burger, basically. So during those 30 days, I tried restaurants like the Chicago Diner, Native Foods, and I think that's it. Just those two, really. And then the rest was just me eating vegetarian, fruits and vegetables, and still dairy products. And then after my 30 days, I remember I went out to eat with a friend. We went to Bar Louie, ordered some boneless chicken, took one bite, and I was like, I'm good. Have not looked back since. That's the last time I had chicken. Whew, have not looked back since. So it was something about it. It made me so sick. And I think most of it was mental too, because I was overthinking it. Am I eating someone else's blood? Like, I don't want to really gross y'all out, but I'm just saying that's my thought process. I overthinked it. And that was the outcome. I just stopped. I was like, I just can't do it no more. I can't do it. So then, I'm about to wrap this up because my internet is acting crazy again. Anywho, So yes, small changes will help. Um, Eating some of your favorite foods. So, like I said, mac and cheese. I was a type of person I could eat fruits all day long and sides. So whether that was like a rice or mac and cheese or beans or something, whatever the sides are, corn, I don't eat that no more, but whatever the sides are, I would just eat that until I was full. And one thing that I really liked about it is you don't feel the same. Like you know how they say you got the itis after you ate a lot? Recently just found out that itis means inflammation. It's not really something to brag about. So what I noticed when I switched over to vegetarian, eating as much as I wanted did not give me the itis. It still did not make me feel so full and fat that I couldn't get up or I was so tired I needed a nap and all of that. Still did not give me that vibe. So you notice the changes in your body. And the last thing that I wanted to just close out on is more about good health. Okay, so health is so important because of all the things I just said. But also, health is so important to women because it gives us better birth outcomes. The whole Aftershock documentary, I think I'm going to ask Dr. Akili if I could repost the live that we did. We did a podcast on my Instagram and then on his podcast about the Aftershock documentary. And a lot of this comes back on us. Guys, like we can literally sit around and blame the doctors all day long, but it be a lot of stuff that's within our control that we don't try to control. And that's not cool. That's not safe. That's not safe. And it's not fair to your children. Going back to the beginning of the show, it's not fair to your children. It's not fair to your loved ones. If you don't take that extra step to be like, I want to be healthy. I want to live a better life. And that's why I was so annoyed with the class earlier, because it's like we're advocating for people to be unhealthy. Why are we doing that? Like, are we trying to change birth outcomes or not? Tell me that. That's all I want to know. You don't want to change birth outcomes. You want to start using this fatphobia word. I don't even know what that means. And I always tell moms too, I don't really care for how much you eat. It's what you're eating. That's the most important part. Because you cannot overdose on no cantaloupe. You're not about to overdose on no cantaloupe. Okay? You're not about to overdose on no Brussels sprouts. You're just not. So it's not how much, is what. So in order for us to get back on track and taking control of our health, that's what's huge to me too. Because I watched somebody have health care. He lived in a nursing home for 12 years and got worse every single year. When my father died, he had, I think they told me 12% heart function. How the fuck y'all have him in y'all care for 12 years and he did not get better one day? He got worse every single year. Needed a new surgery, needed a new drug, needed a new this. So I know that I can't trust the healthcare system. Not here in America. I don't know about nowhere else. I ain't never lived nowhere else. But not here in America, I can't. And I'm not even finna fake it like I can. I don't be running my babies up in no doctor's office like that, in no emergency room like that, unless it's an emergency, which I ain't had one since I ain't had one, literally. I took my son at one time, which was the start of this whole journey of me being like, I can't trust y'all with my health or my baby's health. So what does that mean? We have to be in charge of our own health. That's it. I literally watched them pump him with a new drug, a new procedure, a new this for 12 years, and he did not get better. He died in a nursing home. So, better outcomes, better birth outcomes, and better postpartum. Okay, so hey, I'm done. The only thing I wanted to say about the better postpartum is that we talk a lot about like preeclampsia during pregnancy. Preeclampsia can show up postpartum. So, yeah, it's just time that we start paying attention to these things. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Y'all was so quiet tonight, and I did all my ranting anyway. So I'm about to get up off of here, and I will be back on Wednesday with another podcast. If you have any ideas as far as topics, feel free to drop them in the comments when I'm gone, when I'm here, whenever. And we can talk about those things. I have another class coming up this Thursday. And yeah, walaikum salam, Sister Victoria. I'm about to go. But I have another class coming up this Thursday. You can get the information for that on birthsistertayla.com. And yeah, I will see y'all again on Wednesday. Peace.